Well, welcome to the Ocean Pirate. Little update for you. This week I struggled to put a bit of a video together because of the temperatures and the heat we've had ongoing. I have actually got enough footage to do one, but I want to do one which is going to have a really good end result for you. So I decided to move on to the next stage of this, which is going to be painting the boat, which is going to be starting tomorrow, which is the Bank Holiday Monday in the UK. But I thought to give you an update of where we are, because I have put some bits together for you which I'll go over, but there's not been that much progress since the last video. Even though it's in the same area, there has been progress, but it's if you watched it, it's almost a repeat of the last one. So I thought, okay, there's a few things which have come up through YouTube, through Facebook, through the websites and stuff like that. Other people have contacted me and asked me a few questions, so I thought I'd answer the questions and give you an update of where we are and where we're going and what the plan is for this coming week. And it's there's a few things coming, there's a few changes. So the first thing I thought I'll talk to you about is some of the questions that come through. One of the questions came from a young girl called Anna, and she's in America. And what she said was basically, it's quite a good question really, is she understands that this boat is in the building stage at the moment. I'm still fabricating the boat. Some stuff is getting ready to go in and stuff like that. And she says when it gets to the stage of doing all the electrics and the mechanics and stuff like that, she feels I'll probably get a lot more views, subscribers, and there'll be more attention to the channel, which I think there will be. It's a very niche channel. It's a small group of people who watch this and have been with me from the beginning, which I really do appreciate. I appreciate all your likes and subscriptions. I don't get that many likes as such, but I do get quite a few hours on the views, so that's quite good. And what she asked is, when I get to that stage, will I be charging for memberships, or will I be doing memberships, and will you have to pay to see it in the videos and stuff like that? Because her parents probably won't be able to do that. And I do understand that a lot of YouTubers make their living every day. They work on their videos all the time, and I understand that they do charge and stuff, but this will never happen on this channel. It's never going to happen on the Ocean Pirate. It's never going to happen on King Swift. There might be some subscription only videos at some point, but just press subscribe, but it won't be to do with the Ocean Pirate. It'll probably be the sideline video, maybe talking about an inverter or something like that. It'll be, press subscribe and you're watching it, there'd be no charge. And one of the reasons I've kept this rule is because I do understand that a lot of people, YouTube and television and stuff like that, and is their window to life. It's how they see the outside world, what other people are doing. And I can understand the YouTubers who make a living from it, doing it all the time, having to do something like that. And they probably make some great content, and it's probably worth paying the money every month. But on this channel, you'll never see it, because we're a niche channel. It's a niche channel. It's a fixed subject, and I want people to have an interest in the vessel, basically. And I do understand that people, I don't want to put any financial strain on anyone or make you pay anything. So it's never going to happen. It'll be a subscription only, maybe maximum, and that isn't going to be for ages, even if I do it. So no, Anna, you'll always be able to watch it. And then the other one, I'm doing off the top of my head this, I think that was Josh. Yep, it was Josh. And he said, you took at the very, very beginning of the series, which was going way back into November, December last year, where I did have some problems, sort of legality problems at the beginning, but I got on top of everything. But I did start attacking the electrics in the helm, and I did start preparing the helm panel and stuff like that, and I kind of stopped. Well, yes, there's a reason. I stopped because I then get into the field of looking at the engines and stuff like that, and I'm always bidding now, I'm always looking for engines and stuff. The engines don't worry me. They're accounted for, they're going to arrive at some point, but when they arrive, there's a good chance they could be 24 volt. So with that comes another problem. If I build a new panel and this, that and the other, it might not work. So I've got to come away from that. But what I have done is I've got a Raymarine unit, which I'll put it up. I haven't actually got it in my hands yet, but I'm collecting it tomorrow. I'm collecting tomorrow a Raymarine unit, a second VHF radio set, and, oh, believe it or not, a lithium battery, because I decided to go down the lithium road as well for some strange reason. I'm going to give it a go. But so Ray Marine stuff I can put in. But when it comes to the engines, I've had to hold back. So that panel, I spent ages trying to keep it authentic. 69, I want to keep it all. No, scrap. It's going to have to go to one side. It's going to be a new one made. And I can't remember the person who sent this other question. This was regarding the main cabin. I started the main cabin and stopped. I didn't stop, actually. The main cabin's always been ongoing, under the floors mostly. And the tanks. I started on the tanks and stopped. And there's a reason. When I was doing the tanks, in the rear of the boat, I have a 1,000 litre plus diesel tank. That tank stays. It's going to be a reserve tank, and it'll be a gravity fed on a valve, which I've gone through on one of the videos. I've got to fit the valve. I do have now all the valves for all the tanks. So so that's staying. That's going to be reserved, over 1,000 litres. The central tank in the engine bay, that holds 400 plus litres. That's going to be the main tank. That's the tank that's going to feed the two engines, the water heating system, and the air heating system, and anything else around diesel. That's going to come from that tank. Then when you go into the main cabin, there's another 1,000 litre tank. And in front of that, there's another tank, 250 to 300 litres. That's a water tank. The 1,000 plus tank is an old diesel tank. Absolutely spotlessly clean inside, well, apart from it's obviously aluminium. And I want to convert that to a water tank, because I don't need all these thousands of litres of diesel. What do I need maximum? 1,800 litres. I've got 1,800 litres. I don't need another 1,000 litres of diesel, but I do need water. And that tank, where it's positioned, is designed to be a sort of a ballasty tank as well. It gives the boat a bit of stability. So I need to use that tank. So I've got two choices. I either say, oh no, I'll just put ballast in it and use a little tank at the front, or I can use it for a water tank. So I'm going to use it as a water tank. But my problem was this. In 1969, when the boat was constructed, even if you look at the water tank in front of it, going back to a video a long, long time ago, I did have a look inside that tank and it didn't look very nice. And I've got to clean it all out. But the problem is, in 69, we didn't have as much chlorine in the water. So get away with it. This is 2025. In the UK, we have a lot of chlorine in our water. And chlorine doesn't like aluminium. Now, apparently with marine aluminium, it's very ineffective. It doesn't really have a lot of effect. But it can still get a powdery taste. It can still have a reaction. And I don't want them reactions. You know, I thought, no, I've got to find something to go in this tank. It took me months to find this. But I found a paint, a chlorinated paint, what they use on drinking water tanks. These big tanks you see out in America, it's actually come from, the idea comes from America, but they now produce this paint in England. It's a paint, like I've just said, it's a paint. And it's a rubbery based paint. It has chlorine in this paint. I don't know why, but it's got chlorine in the paint. It's chlorinated water tank paint, suitable for drinking tanks. So I thought, well, this is perfect. It's not cheap by any means. I've already got the paint. I've already got it. So we're going to apply that together. So, but first things first, you know, that's that problem solved. We can now go back to the tanks. I want to do all the tanks together at the same time. So we've got all the valves in and we know where we are. So we've solved that problem. Still need to do the job, but the problem's solved. We've got something which we can deactivate anything, any problems or stuff like that. And the second thing I'm going to do to that main tank, not only will it be aligned with this special chlorinated rubberized paint, I'm going to put two air lines into the tank, and that'll just run off a conventional air pump for so many hours when you first fill the tanks, and that will aerate the water, and then any excess chlorine will escape through the ventilation system. We've got tanks that got vents, so that will help as well. So it was something like a bridge I had to cross. I've now crossed that bridge. We know what to do. So that's that one. And I do believe it's the same question, same guy. The main cabin, brilliant start on the main cabin, pulled back in the end because of the water leaks. When the cover come off after the winter, I couldn't believe how many leaks I had. I might as well just been open to the world. But that wasn't my main problem. Solving the leaks, I'm almost on top of them, a few windows to do. My main problem was how much water had already got into some of the wood. And so when I was taking the shower wall down, the problem I had with the shower wall was basically behind it I could see cracking, and it was cracking because the wood is drying. So it's a mahogany top. Them cracks are now starting to dry and close up again for some. I don't know how it all reacts, but that's what it's doing. But if I'd have put anything on that, it would have ruined it. Even if I'd have put a perspex panel or acrylic panel, it would have then start fracturing the joints. So we're at a nice, we're drying out, we're lovely, we're almost there. And yeah, so that's them ones answered for you. And as for the paint, we just did a good time to do it. My son's coming up to help me, my lad's coming up. I've got 2 days with him, so we're hitting that this week. He's helped me before. He's a very hands-on fella. I think he may have an idea that he might be staying in a hotel, but he's not. Because there's going to be another first. We're staying on the boat. I've got a fridge, a microwave, a cooker. I've got everything we need. We might pop up the pub and have a pint, but we're staying on the boat for that entire duration, and that will be the start. Especially when the aft cabin, I'm pushing the aft at the moment because we need to get the aft cabin as a livable space, and this is really the start of the boat being a livable space. And I have one more which I will go through very quickly. I can't remember the lady's name. I think her name is Doris, actually. Doreen or Doris. It was Doris. And basically, there's pictures of Prince Philip on the boat, and she said, "Are they genuine?" Royal Highness Prince Philip. Yes, they are. They're absolutely genuine. In 1969, he was on the vessel. He sat literally in our vessel, or on. I'll call it our vessel because we're all a group in this, even though I'm doing the project. You're my crew. This is it. And yeah, he took a big interest in the boat, and he followed the progress of the vessel for years. And in 2008, he actually wrote a letter to the crew as well to say, good luck, blah blah blah, on the second trip it ever done around Britain race. So he took a big interest. And it's always made me laugh because I was thought to myself, you know what? I can imagine him being in Buckingham Palace talking to the Queen and saying, "Oh, I might see how they're getting on with that pirate," and then the Queen saying, "Well, you'll keep going on about it." And but Prince Philip was a very naval guy. He loved the sea, and I think he was into that sort of thing. And I can just imagine Queen Elizabeth saying to him, "All right, Philip, if you want to go down the marina, go down the marina, but at least cut the grass first." And he's probably looking out the window thinking, "I'll just stay here." The Queen of England had a lawn you could see from space, you know what I mean? So yeah, so he's genuine, and we've had a few movie stars on there. There's been other people. There's been a few visits on this vessel, and I'm going to get onto the last one. There is a lot more, but I'm not going to go into it. There was one about the worst event ever, and the worst event ever was actually I had a media attack, a serious one, and Metro had to step in. We'll talk about it another day. That was strange. I've never had it in my life. I'm new to this, and I didn't really know how to deal with it, to be honest. But Meta sorted that out because that was all through Facebook. And what was the other one? What I was going to bring up? Oh, basically, yeah, the end result. Too far down the line to say what we're going to do when we finish. This project will probably go on for many, many years. Even though the boat will be functional, it'll be whatever. There's always going to be little bits and pieces to do. But what will happen at the end? Firstly, I'm going to look after my subscribers and people who have taken interest. I've already got some people visiting next year. So if you're following along and you'd love to come and see this vessel next year or something, probably next year would be the best, when you don't have to climb up 15-foot ladders to get in. And yeah, we can probably sort something out. I would gladly show people around. I've got a couple coming from America, one coming from Germany, a very well-known fella. I won't mention his name, but he's very recognisable, and he's going to turn up as well. There's a few actually coming over to have a look. So yeah, but the end result is undecided. Am I going to do a trip in this boat? Am I going to use that secondary big reserve tank in the back? Who knows? I haven't decided yet. Let's just see how it goes. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with a few minutes of some of the things we've done in the last few weeks, and next week I want to bring you back to me and my boy putting paint on this boat, and we'll look over our first night staying on the vessel, which will be interesting, and it's another first. You know, it's another first. But we'll talk about it more then. So, enjoy this couple of minutes if you like. I'll put it together for you. Take care. And I'll see you in about a week's time, hopefully, with a blue hole. That's the plan. If I don't come back with a blue hole, you can all have to slap me or whatever. But it won't be my fault because I'm trying my damn hardest to do it. Take care. And have a little look at our background for a couple of minutes. I think you might enjoy it. Thank you.